Hi, and welcome to a very special coworking, a podcast about what makes coworking special. And this month, we're welcoming Yuta Aoki, who's doing many different things. So we'll talk about them later. But first of all, we met on LinkedIn. So as I was saying on another podcast, I don't know if you have LinkedIn friends. So people you have met on LinkedIn and you know through LinkedIn, and maybe you have met them in real life, maybe not. But that's how I met Yuta, because he was being visited. He was working together with Pauline Russell from Coworkers. She went to Japan to check work coworking space there, and Yuta is being really active in Japan for the coworking industry. And now, Yuta, thank you so much for being there with us today.
Sure, I think it's really a pleasure and honor to me. Thank you so much.
As a honor is shared. First of all, I was saying you're doing different things. So, what are all the activities you're working on right now?
Yes, I have three phases. One
Mm-hmm.
is the startup founder. We are providing CRM tool for co-working spaces and community managers. And the
Mm-hmm.
second is the operating manager of co-working space, which is located in Tokyo and around
Mm-hmm.
1,000 square meters, and it's really connected to local. Yeah, it's a really nice place. And the third is that I'm founder of this big long name, Japan Coworking Space and Community Managers Organization. So the JCCO, we are providing those information to having building owners to have flexible office is really nice and fun, and to training to community managers who can make a profit their co-working space, and they can do the accelerator supporting their members business.
And all three of them are about the coworking industry. When did you get to know about coworking, and why did you decide to work in that industry?
Yeah, when I first met the co-working spaces around 2018 or 19. Yeah, 2018. I'm really interested in community.
Mm-hmm.
When the 2011, there's the very heavy tsunami hit Japan, and
Yes.
those disaster divided those residents to be paired. And I had an anti-activities to the developing local community. But at the time, I noticed that those communities are really important to connect the business economics. Our leader, they can't get the subsidy from the local and central governments. He believes that activity is really important. He worked a lot. But I thought the
Mm-hmm.
community and the economics combination, the collaboration is really important. When
Mm-hmm.
I find co-working space, yeah, that's really fantastic for me. There's people that are paying money to having the community, and those community managers remind me that my great grandmother
Mm-hmm.
was the matchmaker. The community manager is a matchmaker in these days. Yeah, that's the first
Yeah.
time I see the co-working space.
Yeah, it's really interesting how you parallel your family history to what it is to be a co-working and a community manager. So that's your first experience of co-working. And then on the spot, did you decide to start your own co-working, or how did it happen?
For me, at first, my career was started as the startup. Before
Mm-hmm.
I started this business, I was in the one of the member of the big makers. I
Mm-hmm.
quit the job and I jumped into the co-working space industry. And as I said, the first one, we developed CRM and provided to the co-working space, I thought.
Mm-hmm.
But that isn't successful. And I thought, why those co-working spaces don't need the CLMs? I went to America and Europe and Oceania, and I found that very big difference that those co-working space in Japan is not so much profitable. Yeah, that's the point. And started. I wanted to learn how to co-working is learn and run. Learn and
Yes.
run. Yeah.
Yes.
And
Yes.
then at first, the second job, the BIRTH LAB, the workspace name is BIRTH LAB. I want to show the
Mm-hmm.
web page.
Sure.
Yeah, like this. It's very nice design workspace. And we have a lot of event like here. So this whole building is bath lab and our
Ooh.
working space and the event space and the flexible office. At first, my first year in bath lab is the part-time job, but
Yes.
now I'm a operating director of here. Yeah, it's very central of Japan and central of Tokyo. When you
Yes.
come to Japan, please visit us.
Sure. And so that's the co-working space you've been working at. How did it happen? How did you start working there? Did you find a job ad? Did you partner? How was it?
Yeah, I was called my friend. They are finding the community managers, and yeah, she introduced me to the manager at that time. And yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that was the first time to me.
Yeah, yeah. So what? I'm wondering because co-working has many faces. So what was your expectation before working there, and how did it go when you started working? Was it different? How did it evolve a long time?
Yeah, there is that a very big difference before I work and after that, and that's the time that COVID has come. My
Ooh,
I
yeah.
started my job at Bath Lab in 2020's April. So that
Oh, yeah.
yeah, we Japan don't have the system of lockdown, but so
Mhm.
those central government request to the people to not to go out. Yeah, at the
Mhm.
time, so we have to think how we do to
Mhm.
develop this co-working space and maintain this community. Yeah, that was the really nice time for us
Yeah.
to. We could have the very long time we can think and we can find what we should do for our members and our allies.
Yeah, it was very a challenging time for every space. Some of them really thrived during the lockdowns when they were, or during the pandemic crisis. But some of them had really difficult times. So I guess it was very challenging to find all those ways you could support your members.
Yeah, that's the point. There's our members. They
Mm-hmm.
have the account to using address and
Mm-hmm.
using desk, but actually they don't come to our office. Yes, at the
Mm.
time, yeah, there is a very big difference. And after that, we are developing our operation little by little. And during that COVID, we have a lot of partnership with the local governments and other company and areas. Yes, we could have that nice launching of the community. Yeah, now we have a really nice community.
Mm-hmm.
Yesterday we had a big event that around 300 people comes to our space.
Wow.
In those events, there's some part of event our member
Mm-hmm.
have small shops at that time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
those cooperation with members and we organizers are really nice and fantastic.
Yeah, would you say that events is really important for the community?
Yeah, that's important. That's important, but what the important thing is, I think, low cost and high performance because we staff
Yes.
doing a lot. And nice event is,
Yeah.
yeah, addicting. One
Oh.
really big events, people want second, third, fourth, yeah, more and more. But we are not. Yeah, if we work as voluntary, then it's
Mm-hmm.
very heavy to do that. Those small cost event and yeah, our daily, yeah, we do monthly event that is not so paying much cost. But if we want some, yeah, there's some chance we need to focus on the making very big event.
Yeah, yeah. We can see that you work in operation and not
Mhm.
just in events or community. All of them are great, are interesting, necessary. But here we see that, yeah, you can make a lot of impact with little cost. So you
Yeah,
don't have to plan a big event, something that would require a big budget. Even though they might be good, you can also plan smaller events or smaller activities with don't cost that much, but are still very welcomed by the community, right?
Yes, that's right. So
Mm,
those low cost, small performance, and high
mm.
cost, super high performance, the combination is important.
Yeah, you need a bit of both.
Yeah.
Okay. That's about the co-working. At the beginning, you said you had three activities. We talk a bit about the CRM, maybe we talk a bit again later. Now we talk about the co-working, and then there's a third activity you work on, right?
Yeah, correct. Okay.
Time.
Those co-working space, I think this is a very characteristic thing that
Hmm.
we have the strong connection to the area we located. And
Yes.
yeah, I think this is the characteristics of Japan.
Mm.
We understand that what the restaurants or shops in in this in our area. So we know
Yes.
each other and
Mm.
we
Mhm.
are the member of the those small shops merchandise group. Yesterday we had an event that the Japanese cultural a traditional event, and
Yes.
sometime we doing Mikos, that is the Japanese festival.
Yes.
Our cooperation between those events and the group of our area, we made a very strong connection, and they gave us some business chance that they introduced some members to our space, and
Mhm.
they give us some request to using that public place in our area. Yeah, so those
Yeah.
collaboration and combination is very strong tie for us.
Yeah, so partnership is very key. It's not just about your space and its members, even though they're important. It's also about all the surrounding area and partnering with local businesses, really.
Yeah, that's I think really important. Um, Yeah, this last November and December, I visited a
Mhm.
lot of Asian co-working space and
Yeah,
incubation spaces, Korea, China, Taiwan, and India, and Hawaii.
yes.
I feel that the safeness of society is really
Mm,
important for making collaboration with totally different industry. Yes, so
yeah,
that
yeah.
is I think Japan's very strong point.
Yeah, no, that's very interesting because you see the co-working space as a hub for not only your members, but for your neighbors as well. So they can come in and use the space. And yeah, no, that's super interesting, really. So that's something you noticed when you were visiting spaces in Asia and Oceania, right?
Yes, and a
Mm-mm.
lot of European co-working spaces.
Yeah, okay, nice. And that's your third activity, right? To make those partnership, to build the co-working spaces and not just earn money by selling the seats and the event space, but also with partnerships.
Yes, and making partnerships, those partnerships sometimes bring us the projects, and
Hmm.
those projects gonna be the kind of the branding and new way of marketing, I think.
Yeah, no, nice. And so that's about the co-working space, about how to develop businesses. But first of all, you entered the co-working industry through your CRM startup, correct?
Yes. Yeah, at the time, my sense of business is not so much yet, but yeah, I find that yeah, now our CRM is not so successful yet, but then uh, that experience teaches me that I really love co-working space.
Yes.
Yeah, if only I wanted to do some business and make money, yeah, I probably dropped out. But yeah, there's a lot of challenges that the
Yeah, yeah.
venture capital denied we that yeah the venture capital denied our business, and I went to a lot of co-working spaces to sell, but that's not connected to the introduction. Yeah, there's a lot of challenge, but those experience, yeah, really challenged me for the how I love co-working spaces.
Yeah, it was your first step in the industry. Prior, you were saying you were working as an employee in a big company, doing office job, and then you quit and you started this startup and started working in the co-working industry, right?
Yeah, that's right.
That was such a big leap that you took. It must have been a very big decision at that time.
Yes, I think that experience for the tsunami disaster, that
Yeah.
is my kind of life work that made building community and
Mm-hmm.
connecting to economics.
Yes.
Yeah, I think visiting Europe is a really nice experience for me because
Yeah.
those co-working spaces are kind of real estate business.
Mm.
In Japan, that's not so much.
Okay.
Local government, it's
Yes.
building co-working spaces to kind of common sense or kind of not charity, but that is not the industry, not coming to industry. I want to make those co-working spaces to be profitable, and those community manager can earn their salary. I think those co-working spaces can produce a lot of respect to each other. We share the place, and we see a lot of people every day.
Yes.
We have to have respect to each other. So respecting co-working spaces, and those co-working spaces are profitable, more
Mm.
and more people want to have those co-working spaces. And at last, I think
Mm-hmm.
that co-working spaces can stop their war.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's the, I think, really important thing for our duty, I think.
Yeah, so it's very profound because it's not just. I always say that this co-working space and this flex office, which both are great, but it's not the same because in co-working, to me, this community, while flex office, you just rent maybe a desk, maybe a room, and you have all the infrastructure being taken care of, so you don't have to think about it, and that's great. And co-working puts community on top of it, like cherry on the cake or the icing, I would say too. And what you're saying is that you meet a lot of people. It's really a social hub. And
Mm.
by meeting other people and learning about one another, we create a more peaceful society.
Yeah, that's true.
Ah, I never thought about that. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's really nice. It's such a big mission you've got there, huh?
yeah, that's really big, but we have to do it because the disaster, a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people died by the tsunami, but a lot of people committed suicide before because of they felt isolation. Seeing that, I saw the side of the tsunami hit, and actually, I don't directly know that people committing suicide, but my friend, I don't.
Yes,
I can't.
in your
Yeah,
network.
think of it. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
At that situation, yeah, I think that's the duty for me. But it's
Mm,
not kind of sad thing that
mm.
gives me power, that gives me accelerate
Strength.
my mind. Yeah, strength.
Yeah, wow. It's very good to know your origin story and why you started all this. So that makes a lot of sense what you're doing now and what you're going to do later.
Mm.
It's
Um,
beautiful.
yeah. Now I'm started the co-working conference in Japan. The name
Ooh,
is FLC Fest. Find the new relationship between local and co-working space. So
okay.
we get FLC. Yes, we gathered more than 300 people in Okinawa. It's very first part of
Mm,
Japan. And
yes.
yeah, I think we have to think about the co-working industry. In Japan, there's a lot of co-working conference, but those co-working space conference, for me, I thought by the co-working space, by the co-working
Mm,
people, for the co-working people, of the co-working
mm,
people. Yeah, that's really
yes.
nice and fun also. But we need more to connect other industry. So because we are a co-working space operator and we are community manager, our community management above our building, above our area, and above country, I think. And Yeah, now we try to connect those co-working space during Japan and outside of Japan. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
as I said, we are trying to educate Japan's community
Yes.
managers. So I want to do the future is
Yes.
making making new ecosystem of co-work from co-working space. I think that
Mm-hmm.
those co-working space community is really nice for incubation. Not only startup, small business is okay. In startup, it's okay. Real estate, thinking that real estate business, our membership
Mm-hmm.
business getting big and they hire people. So those increasing of account and changing their rules to bigger one, that's really
Mm-hmm.
profitable for working space. So those are activity that come from production of incubation. So I think that activity is very healthy. I want to introduce
Mm-hmm.
that kind of idea to Japan. And I think the ideal size of co-working space is 2,000 square meters to 5,000 square meters in Japan. That
Mm-hmm.
is the middle-sized building going inside in Japan. We make them to having interesting to co-working space and flexible office. Yeah, I want to create new industry.
Yeah. So many plans for the future. That's nice.
Yeah.
And yeah, so the buildings and promoting, because we say one of the silver lining of the pandemic and the lockdowns, whatever kind of lockdowns might have been, is that people got introduced to remote work. But the truth is, it wasn't so much remote work, it was working under quarantine, which is kind of different. Even though remote work came and helped with all the best practices, it's different to be forced to do it than to be willing to do it. Now we go back to the office, going back to the old ways, if you want, going back to, yeah, a main quarters or something like that. But we can imagine that not everybody like to have a long commute, right? And this space for other kind of workspaces, such as co-working. So maybe now is the right time to educate the population and everybody about what co-working really is and what remote work really is about.
And remote work is, I think it's really productive. It is
Mm.
well productivity. Yeah, but now a lot of work can be our members came back to office, and then the Japanese enterprise changed mind that the full remote work to hybrid work. Those,
Yes.
yeah, I think those activities going on. Remote work, it's really easy to work and it's easy to have in life who has small children and yeah, or old man or old mother or father. And yeah, gathering, it's also there's variable combination of those activities. I think it's healthy. And so
Mm-hmm.
those that means that the value of workspace is really important. And for us, the co-working space that is important for the ends of those users. We have
Yes.
to raise that value to our members.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, such a nice project you've got there. Bit by bit, we're coming towards the end. But before we do that, I just wanted to ask, is there anything else you want to talk about?
Let me see. You're a really nice interviewer. I said a lot of things.
Thank you. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's good.
yeah. There's the news that in Japan, there's a new style of co-working space has opened, and there is people who can't talk each other. Uh,
Ooh.
yeah, a lot of co-working spaces operator in Japan says that that is not co-working space. Yeah, but my definition co-working is, um, yeah, but I thought it's a really quite new, and I want to understand the insight for users and the needs, and yeah, for my definition of co-working space is that style for the members to have communication. That time I rethink of it. No talking is one of the communication of co-working space. So I thought my definition includes the no talking co-working space. Yes. So those evolution of co-working space, yeah, I'm really testing in it.
Yeah, that's a very, maybe I'm thinking maybe in some place in Europe, people would be interested in having a silent zone or a silent co-working space. So that might be interesting. That's sure. Thank you. Great. Anyway, we're coming to the end. As you can see, I had a poor outage here. Maybe it's back. It's back. Okay. Yeah, you didn't see it coming, right? Everything can happen. Anyway, thank you so much. We're at the end. If people want to know more about you and what you're doing and your space, how can they contact you? What's the best way?
Give me the offer of LinkedIn.
Yes?
Yeah.
So LinkedIn is the best way to reach you out. Okay, that's great. For anybody who's interested, I'll add them in the comments. Or you can easily find Yuta on LinkedIn and reach out to them. Thank you so much for the nice talk and for being here with us today. We'll catch up on LinkedIn, of course, and see you soon.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.